Oh, I am a huge fucking nerd. That's right, I'm a huge fucking nerd. I like lots of books and computers, 'cause I am a huge fucking nerd.
One-of-a-kind shades made to order by Vaporshades.com. Vaporshades designs the outer layer of the sunglasses just like a wrap on a car. They customize your sunglasses, marbling the paint. The end result is no two pair of sunglasses are alike. Yours will be completely unique to you. Check us out at Vaporshades.com. Use promo code Tuddle for 15% off your entire order. Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Vaporshades Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Episode 298 today, people. I'm getting closer and closer to the big 300, and I'm gonna play. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm gonna be playing and reviewing and kind of like air checking myself from the very, very first show that I did of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Make sure you check out my website, Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with two D's, Tuddle.net. While you're there, you're going to be able to find out how you can contact me. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can give me a call, leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. Once again, that is 407-270-3044. Or you can email me, Tuddle@gmail.com. I try to get back to every single person that I can. It's just getting a little bit harder the more and more that this podcast grows. Speaking of my voicemail, I got a quick one right here that I want to talk about. I want to listen to it, see what they have to say, and move on. Got a great interview coming up later on in the second segment of the show.
Hey, Tuddle. Philip called once or twice before. Was listening to Clusterfuck yesterday, and Matt Spice Boy Lloyd was on. They talked about some stuff, and there was a rumor that Bubba put you up to making fun of Seth Kushner, I think his name is. I quit listening to the Bubba show. But I want you to respond to that if you could. I know I'm not great with leaving messages, and it might not be good for the air, but I'll say again, I heard rumored that Bubba put you up to making fun of Seth Kushner, his new co-host. Do you have any comment for that? Thanks, Tuddle. Love the show. Listen every day.
So, yeah, I've heard about this rumor. I've been getting some DMs, some emails, people letting me know. I guess Manson on Cluster F, you know how he does his Bruce Springsteen Christmas thing where, you know, he kind of like does digs on everybody. He kind of roasts everybody, and it's great. It's brilliant. I look forward to the Springsteen Christmas thing every single year, but yeah, I heard that he has this theory that Bubba is paying me to make fun of the people on his show. Now, I mean, I can see that. It's actually kind of a funny rumor, but I can almost guarantee, well, not almost, I can guarantee you that Bubba's not paying me. Not paying me at all. Matter of fact, from what I've heard, he's pretty livid that I said those things about Seth Kush. And I don't want people to think, listen, the only reason that I was saying stuff about Seth was because I was a little upset. I mean, I've always had nothing but respect for Seth Kush, but for him to, like, block me just because I made that one little comment, Jesus Christ. I mean, Bubba used to talk about the pussification of America all the time, or the pussification of this and the pussification of that. My God. The BRN definitely has turned into a bunch of pussies. Well, and it's not that everybody has. Blitz isn't. K-Man isn't. I don't think Lummy is. But Seth gets treated like a double standard. And I said that on my own. That was my own opinion, and nobody has paid me for it. I can absolutely you, or I can guarantee you that it's never happened. And I know, like, oh, you're kind of stuttering there, Tuddle. No, I'm just a little dumbfounded. You guys really think that Bubba actually talks to me? Hell no. I've tried so many times to reach out to him, and I get crickets. So no, I am not getting paid by Bubba. Now, would it be a pretty good gig? Yeah, hell yeah. You want to pay me to be a verbal hitman for you and just talk mad shit about whoever you want me to? Yeah, sign me up immediately. But no, it's not happening. I said everything about Seth Cush because that's the way that I feel. I still think he's a great guy, but goddamn, man. Seriously. Why, what? Look, Seth's good, but is he that good that there's going to be a separate set of rules when it comes to Seth Cush? No, he's not that good. He's good, but not that good. And I purposely, I knew Spice Boy was going to be on that show. And I'll be honest, guys. I really don't, I don't have anything against Spice Boy. He's never done anything really, really bad to me. Matter of fact, if anything, Spice has had a lot of faith in me. He's given me a lot of chances. So, yeah, no, I really don't have anything bad to say about Spice. I'm sure he's not happy with me because when I was working with Bubba, they sent me down to the courthouse for one of the public appearances that Spice had to be at. And his wife at the time, I don't even know if they're still married, but Tasha was running interference, and I was trying to, and I got to tell you, Spice did not, bite one bit at all. I was asking some pretty messed up things, and Spice did not even, blink. He did not even say a word, and I got to tell you, it's pretty impressive, because usually, for the most part, I can get under people's skin, but nope, Spice, Matt Lloyd, Spice was not breaking at all. So I'm sure he's not happy with me. I wouldn't blame him if he hated me. But, I was doing what I was doing. I'm sure Spice Boy would have done the same exact thing if Bubba would have told him to go out there when Spice was working for Bubba. And Bubba was like, hey, Spice, I need you to go out there and interview these people. Yeah, Spice would have done it, for sure. So no hard feelings, nothing personal, because it's not like, oh, man, I'm going to go down there and mess with Spice Boy. No, I was told to do that at the time. But I purposely did not listen to it because I'm trying to stay away from all the negative stuff, people, because I react tenfold. I try to leave scorched earth every time when I reply to somebody, and it's ruined a lot of my relationships. It has. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to deny it. But yeah, I've ruined a lot of my personal relationships because I was voicing my opinion. So I might go back and listen to it, give it a listen. I also got a couple of DMs. They were saying that, they didn't really say anything good, but they didn't really say anything bad. But I heard I came up a little bit, especially from your voicemail. But I can promise you, sir, I am not getting paid by Bubba. And that's the other thing. I've been realizing, because I get paranoid. Is it like your paranoia gets to a very, very bad level whenever you become the host of a show? Because it seems like every single goddamn radio host is paranoid as F. Almost to the point of, you would think they would be agoraphobics or something. But no. So not everybody's out to get you. Everybody's just trying to do their own thing. So, but that also goes back to the ego. I've said this for a really, really long time. All radio hosts are egomaniacs at some point. Yes, they are. It's just, if you think that everybody needs to hear your voice, yes, you have some type of ego. Bigger than average type ego. And so, I don't know. Maybe they think, oh, man, I'm so important. Everybody's out to get me. Everybody's trying to bring me down. And these radio wars are pretty goddamn ridiculous. They are. Because think about this, people. Yeah, if I was in Bubba's shoes, yeah, I would be pretty pissed off. I would be pissed off of everything that happened to me. I mean, a lot of it, kind of brought on himself, but he admits that. He really does. But I would be mad. But think about this. If Bubba would have stopped talking about this a really long time ago, radio audiences, and this is no dig, people, is like their attention span is like a goddamn goldfish. They forget everything immediately. So, Bubba keeps bringing this up. Bubba keeps talking about it, and it would just go away. It would. People's attention span they're horrible nowadays. With all the stimulus going around, they will forget the cheating. They will forget about the sex tape. They'll forget about the hog. Every single goddamn thing that Bubba's ever done would be forgotten about if it just was not consistently dredged up, brought up, recycled. So I get it why he's mad, but these radio wars are ridiculous. Because, it's worse. The Jews and the Palestinians are like, oh, man, that Bubba the Love Sponge, Mike Calta, Michael Waters, Matt Lloyd type deal. Oh, man. They need to chill the fuck out, man. I know we got it bad. I know we hate each other, but shit. Look at some of the stuff that radio war is doing. They are just trying to ruin each other's lives. And they really have. They have ruined everybody's life. And I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy that wants to get in on it. I'm not going to let somebody talk shit about me. No, I'm going to step up. And it does you no good because then you have enemies. And I've been trying to make up with every single person that I've burned bridges with, and it's a lot of them. And I've pretty much repaired every single one that I can. Some of them are just, there's nothing left to build on. That is out the window.
He's a nerd,
I've only been arrested one time.
a radio personality,
Professionally, I'm not in the best position that I've ever been in.
and hot talk satirizer.
You would think with everything that's going on, a Caucasian like myself wouldn't be able to randomly talk to an African American or a minority.
You're listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Have you considered owning your own restaurant franchise? Good Life Organics currently offers territories across the United States. Check out GLO Franchising. That's GLO Franchising on Facebook to sign up for an overview session today. Good Life Organics Franchising, a new partner of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Tell them Tuddle sent you. Send them a message on Facebook at facebook.com/GLO Franchising.
Welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I'm sitting out here by the water today. A lot of people would probably think this is like a Zoom green screen behind me, but it's not. I promise you it's not. But I got a great guest coming on. And like a lot of my guests lately have been a little bit on some serious topics and stuff. And we've been talking about mental illness and mental health the past couple interviews that I've done. But my next guest is Christian Martin. Christian, how are you, buddy?
Well, fantastic. This is great. I am envious of the fact that that's not a fake backdrop.
Yeah.
And that you're in a beautiful place. I can tell you that.
Well, cool, Christian. Now, I like to pitch it to the guests because I could talk about you, but you can always talk about yourself better. So that's why I like to pitch it to the guests. Tell people a little bit about yourself and how they can check out your content.
Yeah. So this is a do the best I can and have it make some sense, and we can flush out wherever it is that I don't make sense. So I am by training a financial services guy, which makes me one of those Wall Street douchebags, generally. 30 plus years or so in the industry. One of the glorious byproducts of going through that, and still going through it, was I worked downtown, and
the trade center area, right? The financial district.
Right there, bang. So I'm a 9/11 ground zero guy that day, and then obviously for years afterwards worked down there. And unfortunately, some of the results of that experience are there's a whole slew of us out here who got sick from that process. And so
Did
while
they did I'm sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
but
no, please do.
at the time though, did they were they denying that it was bad around that area, or were did they not know?
Yeah, so it gives it. They were saying it was all clear, which is different than denying it's not good, right? So
Mhm.
I think they earnestly given the craziness of the time, and really what good does it do us to start pointing fingers as you got it wrong or you got it wrong? They got it wrong, but at the time I don't think they meant to. I don't think it was totally nefarious.
Mhm.
But you end up with, unfortunately that day in that area, right there, a few thousand people passed, and what you're left with is, the better part of a couple 100,000 that are sick as a result of all this. And so while I still have my day job and have gone through all the being sick part,
Mhm.
I've started an effort recently to commemorate the 20th anniversary, which is hard to believe it's the 20th anniversary.
I know, man.
Right. To do good things for that, for those of us that came through, and started an organization called 1to10.org. Just recently put a lot of things came together, a lot of sponsorships, corporate sponsorships, and the platforms just coming together. It is a nascent website. The website's getting up and running, 1to10.org.
Mhm.
Just starting podcasts, just starting YouTube channels. So getting the word out, meeting lovely folks like yourself, and having a nice chat, all part of the process. And I'm really psyched and grateful for your time.
Um, so let me you don't mind talking about that day, do
No, I'm
you?
here to
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay. Now, give me a point of reference. So you worked in Wall Street. How far away from, building 7 and the Twin Towers were you?
Yeah. So if you've ever been in that area, there was the World Trade Center complex too, the two tall
Yeah.
towers in Building 7 and a few others. Then there was the West Side Highway, which was about a 6 or 7 lane road. I worked in that building next to that road, right across the
Mhm.
street from the towers. So it was known as the World Financial Complex, World Financial Center, um, across the street from the World Trade Center. So 75 yards
Mhm.
from the towers that
Were you
that
were
day.
you were you at work
Oh, sure.
when the planes hit and stuff?
Yep. There, and I was also there. There was an event,
In
maybe,
93, right? Are
yeah,
you are you
in the
talking about
basement.
yeah,
Yeah, so I was there
you're
for that
talking
too.
about the original one, yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that too. So when the first plane hit, my mind went right to that event rather than, oh,
Mhm.
this is a random act, and I hope everybody's okay. My mind went to, here they go again, whoever they are, and I started to prepare to leave.
Did did you get out right away?
No, I was on the second to last ferry off the island, which is perverse
Mm,
because there were still people commuting to work just as the normal course, right? They were getting in around 9,
mhm.
9:30, whenever it was. I was one of those idiots who got in at like 7 or 6:30 during the day. So I'd already spent a couple hours there, and we were myself and my group were new to leave, and we're sort of saying this isn't something you want to get off the boat for. You don't want to go to work today. Today's a get off the island day. Um, and I wasn't on that Time magazine cover. I think that was the boat after me, but
Mhm.
I was probably the boat before that.
So, a lot of people see this on TV and stuff, and you see it visually, but we use all of our senses as people, just vibration, sound, smell, stuff like that. Um, what did it sound like when those towers came down? Because you hear a little bit of that stuff, but I can't even imagine because I've worked in radio all my life and I'm a big sound guy.
Yeah.
I almost had I think it almost had to be like it looked like a movie or it just was unreal.
Yeah. So I'll even take it a little bit further back in time that day. The sound of if you've ever been on a highway and you've heard or been near a truck trying
Mhm.
to downshift
Oh,
violently.
they're using that Jake brake.
Yeah, you know better than me. I don't even know what the name of it is.
Mhm.
But that sound in the air, amplified times whatever number times percentage, is how that plane first sounded before it even hit. It was,
Yeah.
grinding down the engines, I guess, for control, I assume. And then, of course, the concussion and percussion sounds really went through your body, really cut through the living quality of everything around you when the planes hit. The plane, when the first building collapsed, I was across the river on the other side in Jersey City.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
but you still felt it.
Yeah.
You still felt the I don't know whether it was air or earth. There's the Hudson River between us, so I'd imagine it was air. And that was enough. That was enough to last a lifetime in terms of memory.
How long was it before you actually returned back to that area? Did they make you guys come into work, or like?
So this is the issue. This is how we got sick. We went back to that building because the building I was in ostensibly was cleaned, and right next to Ground Zero, with that Ground Zero smoldered for, pick a number, another 10 months, 12 months.
Yeah, because there was a lot of heat. I mean, that stuff was underneath the ground, and it just kept burning.
It was a perfect cauldron. It was this giant cement lava pit of insanity. And we went back right around Halloween. So September 11th, pick Halloween, call it whatever that is, 10 weeks.
Now, what obviously I'm almost sure that it's lung cancer, right? Or
Not
what type
mine.
of cancers, what type of cancers are people getting from this? And what is it? Is it because of the asbestos in the building? Is that what they're finding out, or just a mixture of all types of different like chemicals and byproducts from stuff that were in the building?
A lot of the technology stuff turns out is relatively carcinogenic. But not known, it's not supposed to burn at 1200 degrees for, however long. And there are, I think, the better part of 70 different cancers that have been linked to 9/11 exposure, Ground Zero exposure.
Now, right now we know all the people that initially died, and the plane crash and when the buildings went down, the ones that were killed instantly. But I also think we also have to include the people that died after it from causes from that and stuff. What is the toll at, or are there any numbers out there, like including or maybe even just after?
Yeah.
How many people have died?
Well, the number of sick are a bit more than 100,000.
Oof.
Yeah. And the number that have passed, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's thousands and it's multiples of those that passed that day.
Now, with your website, what are you trying to do? How are you trying to help people, and which ways?
It's the non-clinical way, right? The thing, if I had to go back and look at what was I missing when I went through my process, was the patient experience, almost like as a brother or a friend or a concierge almost.
Yeah.
Just to give them, first of all, the fact that we went through it, lots of us, and we're on the other side. There's some practical advice I can give you, but no medical advice. But one of the things that's key is where I can inject humor and the process of breathing and living and knowing it's okay to have a funny moment while, as a matter of fact, not only okay, probably curative. Now, it's not a comedic site, but
yeah,
there's a focus on living a life while you're going through a horrific thing.
Yeah, my mom's been through, and I know this is going to be a really rough one that I'm about to give you, but like I used to tell this joke, and my mom and dad used to get a kick out of it because my mom's had cancer twice in her life.
Okay.
She's beaten it both times. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I used to tell this joke on the air, and I said, yeah, my dad, he said, yeah, it sucks that my mom was going through, chemo and radiation and stuff, and she had to go through all this. But, if you're looking at the bright side, at least she did not have to shave her genitalia during that time. and they used to get a big laugh. But you also got to remember, I go after sick humor type jokes, but you gotta laugh at such a horrible type thing that people go through. If you can't laugh, it's just, it's weird.
It is weird, and it's like just I'm going to start a hyperbaric chamber series. Hyperbaric chamber
Mm.
is this, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to be the before and after of.
And by the way, I'm not scratching like a crackhead or anything. It's just that the no-see-ums, those little gnats are out here. So
Sure.
I just don't want people to think, oh, watching in the camera, like, oh man, what is Tuddle on right now?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. It's just Florida bugs.
Yeah, no, I can attest I don't see any crack. If you need me to do that.
Now, what is your feelings on where are you? You're up in New York still, right?
In New Jersey, yeah.
Or New Jersey. Medical marijuana.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was one of the best things that helped out my mom
Yeah.
during her chemo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so it's clearly has great healing and curative properties, and it's a shame that it isn't just common practice for folks because you should try just about everything when you're in the throes of those side effects from chemo. I mean, it is horrific.
Did you go through chemo and radiation, or just chemo?
I had the trifecta. It was chemo, surgery, radiation.
Yeah. And where was your cancer, by the way?
What type? It was
what type?
The diagnosis is something called thymic carcinoma, incredibly rare.
Yeah.
So they took the outside of my heart out, most of my left lung gone.
Wait. Did you say they took out the outside of your heart?
Yeah, something called pericardium.
Yeah, it does have like a film over the top of it, but why they have to take that out?
The tumor wrapped around my heart and dove into my lung, so it contaminated that part of the organ. But your heart's all muscle. It doesn't allow for cancer, really. Thank goodness. But it set up camp in my lung and went to work there.
Now, is there a fund or anything that the government or the city of New York that has come up with to help these people?
Yeah.
Because, I really do think that this was a national tragedy that happened.
Yeah.
And, people only think about the people that died instantly and all the firefighters, police officers that were down there pretty much for a couple of weeks straight with no sleep.
Yeah.
And they did it. And you know what? That's the thing about it is, even if they would have known that, hey man, pretty dangerous to be down here right now, they still would have gone out there.
Yeah. And so there is something called the World Trade Center Victims Fund, which has been funded a couple times over now. John Stewart.
Yes, I was going to bring him up. All the work that he does is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, earned his wings 10 times over. So that is a real thing. It has had different thresholds attached to it, different proofs and of relevance for the individuals. And I sort of represent the third bucket of that conversation, right? There's the unfortunate people who passed that day. There's certainly the first responders. And then there's those of us who, in a real way, I feel like enlisted in our own way. What did we do? We went back to work because the city, the state, our country needed us, wanted us to get back to normal, right? That was the heartbeat. Please go buy dinner, go spend your money, go. That's what terrorism does, right? It terrorizes you. So don't be afraid. Go back to work. It's safe. You're in your own way, in my own way. I felt like I was doing a patriotic duty to go back to work. Go get on a boat with guys with automatic weapons protecting me.
Yeah.
Take a ferry from Jersey City to New York to downtown New York to go sit in a financial building in Merrill Lynch at the time.
So were you
do work.
You're a stock market guy then, right?
I'm a Wall Street. Yeah, I'm more of a fixed income guy. Guy.
So I know this is kind of off topic. What the hell is going on right now? Like seriously, it's mind boggling. Everybody was like, "Oh, the stock market is doing so well," and I keep telling people it's like there are a lot of Americans that got their money invested in the stock market, but how much of that is a representation of how well the economy's doing, or
Very
is
little.
it? Okay, that's what I've been trying to tell people.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not, I mean, I'm no macroeconomic,
Yeah,
wizard, but there's, there are some companies that have been thriving. You'd imagine,
you
like, well,
just think.
how have you changed your life, right? Amazon,
Mm,
everyone orders
well, the
everything
rich keep
online
getting
now.
richer, though. The rich keep getting richer,
Well,
though. The
those few companies that are in those pole positions are going to dominate even more so. Like you just said, the rich get richer. And those valuations are just driving the stock market. But that is not mom and pop Main Street,
No.
the country. The country's in enormous pain. And as a matter of fact, them passing some of this stimulus, this COVID stimulus, when you tell people you can't go to work or you'll die, you
Yeah.
need to have some counterbalance to that. And it is
Yeah.
a bloodbath out
Yeah.
there in the real world. So don't be fooled by what the stock market's doing.
Christian, man, I could sit here and talk to you for a while, man. But what's some advice? Like for example, when they go to your website, what are some of the things that they're gonna learn? Give me like a couple of advice things on how you guys are helping people, and then tell people about your website and how they can find out your podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, and again, the podcast we're just getting going on all that stuff, so we'll be a little bit more markety ish on the
Mhm.
podcast when we get going. I hope, first of all, to have the backdrop you do at some point in my podcast,
Oh yeah.
so I can be, I can show up in line with the best of them. Um, but right now, so there's some free collateral there for folks that are going through treatment, and that'll be the intent, is to inform and educate, and where we can, like I said. So specifically, I'm looking to bring my podcast themes will have comedians or entertainers or musicians that have all been touched by some illness, and they're either
Mhm.
patients or their family members were or are, and then some stories about that, hopefully, that are just like you said, the gallows humor of your mom's genitalia.
Yeah.
Where we can do stuff like that, that's the key to me, is to bring that into the narrative, so people that are going through it can feel a community, and then B, they can feel a sense of it's okay. Like
Mhm.
I can have a humble, humiliating moment, and if I can laugh about it a little bit or laugh about someone else going through it, then maybe it'll make that day a little easier.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people, and I do. I'm one of those people that positivity, being positive, or just laughter, or being in a good mood, because depression, it wears on your health
Yeah, yeah,
physically at some point.
yeah. So tell me about you, that journey that led you to this, because I'm really interested in this not this exercise that you go through daily on the podcast, and how it informs and helps your process.
Well, listen, I'm a very flawed person. I'm I'm a very, very flawed person. Like been going through a lot of stuff. This year has been pretty good for me, actually. I've made a lot of changes mentally and physically.
Yeah,
And having to help out my family and stuff. But it's starting to kind of weigh on me. I feel like I'm spinning my tires right now.
yeah,
And that's why I've been talking about, having guests on, because a lot of people are dealing with tough times right now.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And so your background is radio through and through.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been working in radio since
Always down in
19.
Florida.
Yeah, always down in Florida. Actually, I almost took a job at Sirius up in New York, which was kind of cool. But
Yeah,
living down here all my life, it just it's it's not the place for me right now.
gotcha.
If that makes sense at all.
New
It's a
York isn't.
great place. Yeah, New York isn't, but I
Mm,
mean, it's a great place. So I mean, I had a lot of fun there. But
yeah,
do I want to? Because yeah, they're going to pay me more there, but the amount that I'm going to be paying for rent and all that stuff, it's basically I'm getting paid the same exact thing down here.
gotcha. So a lifetime ago, right before I started on Wall Street, I had a little bit of time in radio, sports
Hmm.
radio, in
Oh, no kidding.
over in Seattle, KJR radio. And
Oh,
so there's a woman who showed up there, who I was her producer, and a little bit of field work when she didn't want to go. The fabulous Sports Babe.
oh yes, yes, yes. She was in Tampa for a while. Yep, I
Yeah,
I know,
so
I
so I
know.
was Sports Boy. I was sports
Oh,
boy.
no
If
kidding.
you ever read her book, Babes in Toyland or something, I'm sports boy. So I was, I spent a couple years working for her.
I liked her. I mean, she was great, man. Like I'm not trying to be like sexist, but like not a lot of women
She's
can
wonderful.
work. But she was great, man, because you know when you get that demographic, that male 25 to 50, but like she could hang, man. She was
Yeah,
really
no,
good. I liked
I
her.
was obviously a fan. I was a producer for almost 2 years, and then I
Mhm.
moved back east. But I heard and read intermittently she took ill over the years, and I've
I
been trying
haven't
to
heard
find
that.
her. I've been trying to
I,
find her.
I
Just
tell you what,
internet.
I'm gonna ask around and see what I can do. I might have some contacts to be able to
Oh, that'd be very generous. Thank you.
reach and I'll get my producer to reach out to you. So once again, Christian Martin, tell people where they can go to your website.
1to10.org, and
Now that's the number 1, 2,
then
and
the
then and
TO
then
and the number
yeah,
10.
yeah. So I didn't want people to spell out one O
Ah,
or ONE, 2 and then 10. So but it is the number 2 and then number 10.
right. And where that comes from is for 5 years, and if anyone can recall going into a doctor's office or nurse's office as they start to interview you, they almost always start with, or for me, they did on a scale of 1 to 10.
Your pain.
Tell me about your pain.
Yeah.
And so that's where that comes from, 1 to 10.
And they give you that and then when you're in the hospital room, they got those like cartoon smiley faces. Like the one is like, "Yee," and then the other one's like, is crying and is like, "Urgh." So yeah, they have those. But well, good man. You look like you're in great health right now. I mean,
All good.
everything good.
Knock on whatever. All
All
good.
right, man.
No complaints.
Christian, I really enjoyed this interview, and I'm gonna get this up later today. Okay.
Take care, brother.
From the Vapor Shades Hobo Fish Camp,
Man, maybe I would have way more sex partners in my life if I just threw caution to the wind.
it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Tuddle's Daily Podcast is brought to you by StitchYouUp.com. For your embroidery, screen printing, vinyl, and direct-to-garment printing needs, visit StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up specializes in custom caps, shirts, decals, and anything you want to personalize. Whether it's one item or large orders, they can handle any size. Unsure about what you want? Let Stitch You Up help you with your logo design. Visit StitchYouUp.com or contact them, Eric at StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up. Definitely not your grandma's embroidery.
Welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I haven't caught up with my good friend Charlie Alamo, and I wanted to talk a little bit about of the year and see how he's doing. Charlie, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, Tuddle. How's everything going with the podcast? Like you said, I haven't been on in a while.
Yeah, I mean it's going okay, man. I'm just starting to get a little like, this year hasn't really been that bad for me, but like the last month and a half, it's been kind of crappy. It's starting to build on me a little bit. I don't know what is it with you?
I would actually say the opposite. The last month has been pretty good. The last few weeks, I've just been like, let's get into the new year and get this other stuff going. Now there's this possible free government money that everybody's going to be dancing on the roof of their car. That when they get that, even though it might not be as much as people want, it'll still be, you're still getting money.
I
So.
haven't gotten shit from the government. I didn't even get that original $1,200.
Oh, you didn't? I did, but I had to spend all mine on medical stuff because I got bit by that dog, breaking up that dog fight. So I
Oh, I
basically,
thought you were gonna say you spent it on medical marijuana.
I wish I could have. Believe me, I should have at this point. I was like, God damn, the amount of money
What kind
that
of dog bit you?
I don't know what the one breed is. It's like a mixed breed, and then one of the neighbor's dogs, they got into a fight right in front of my niece. So I was like, all right, no, none of this. And then when I looked down, I was like, oh no, the tip of my finger's hanging off.
Yeah, I don't get involved in dog fights, just like I don't get involved in white trash couples fighting with each other, because that's always going to be like bad for you. Like you think you're helping the woman, and you're standing up to the man, and then all said and done, the woman's most likely beating your ass by the end of it as well too.
Yeah, I don't get into domestic squabbles. people can fight, I'll just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I pretty much ignore it. It sucks to be able to watch, but you're like, hey, let them
Oh,
figure
I
it
don't
out.
sit there like gawking or whatever. I'll just keep doing like the other day. I was in I forget what store, and these two people were fucking fighting, and I was like, haha, like laughing about it, but just like getting the shit that I wanted to get, and then got the fuck out of there, like not making a big deal about it. Still like looking over me like, oh Christ, they're still fighting in here. Holy shit.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught in the crossfire, man. I remember the first time I rode the New York subway, and I was with Ron Bennington, and he was like, "Yeah, you got to ignore everything that you see because you're gonna see some crazy shit on here."
Oh yeah, I saw all kinds of crazy shit riding the subway in New York. It was fucking yeah, you do. You just keep your head down and do whatever until you get the one guy. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. I was robbed at a men's health club. I need to get an ID or social security card. And you're like, oh God.
Dude, I mean, you still get those in the small little towns too, man. Every so often when I go to the Sunoco here in Oak Hill, I get some dude trying to sell me fake jewelry because he needs gas money to get somewhere.
Oh, I was gonna say they do it outside of Walmarts now with the signs, and they're not even that creative. They're just lazy signs like used to be veteran. Well, fuck, man. If you were really a veteran, you can go get yourself some assistance, and you'll be off the street. You're just a fucking liar trying to use a veteran saying. And the
Does
other,
honesty does
the
honesty work with you? Like if somebody's like, I
yeah,
just need money for a beer.
yeah, I would totally. I'd be like, what kind do you drink? I'll go get you a fucking sixer right now.
Yes, exactly. I when I did that fundraiser thing with Naomi Bradshaw, the guy he let me use his board and everything. I was like, hey, how much do I owe you? And he was like, hey, just buy me 2 packs of cigarettes and like a pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, this is the cheapest engineering gig that I've ever had to pay for.
Oh yeah, it's great when people just want booze and cigarettes.
Now, while we're on Mike's Hard Lemonade, what about this Twisted Tea thing, man? That seems like the weapon of choice now for minorities, and I kind of dig it a little bit.
Yeah, that fucking that what a fucking white trash piece of shit. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're just gonna get in some dude's face. Poor guy's buying one can of Twisted Tea. You know he wants to fucking get more than that, but he's fucking broke too, like everybody else is, just trying to get through. And he's got to fucking be called racial slurs by the fucking a dude who is whiter than Casper the Friendly Ghost. And it's just fucking ridiculous.
I mean, the guy had to have been oblivious because if you saw that video when he twirls the tea and drops it, and the white dude let him pick it up, and I was like, oh come on, man, you got to see from a mile away he plans on his intentions are using that for a goddamn weapon.
I love when it explodes though. That's pretty sweet. After it hits him in the fucking head.
I got to tell you though, the guy can take a punch though. Like it did not knock him out. It definitely dazed him, but I got to tell you, man, he carried that punch or with the Twisted Tea pretty well.
I think the only reason why is like you just said before. I think he was fucked up on something because he had those fucking wobbly legs like when a boxer gets knocked the fuck out. He's like, you got me. Like fucking, he was done. He was out on his fucking feet, dude.
Yeah, and the thing is that the black dude could have like just destroyed him even more, but I think at one point he actually kind of felt bad for him because the guy had no fight in him after he takes that fucking Twisted Tea to the melon.
I would have yelled hit him again because that's fucking bullshit. That dude should have got walloped. He's just lucky that the black gentleman was in the know-how not to fucking hit him when he got back up and was all like doughy, all fucking deer-legged. If you would have hit him right there, that's how you go down for like manslaughter or some stupid fucking charge because of that shit. Other than that, that dude was completely in the fucking right. He should have smashed that dude in the fucking down to zero with that tea like he did. Because there's no reason for that fucking behavior.
You bring up manslaughter. When you're a kid and stuff, you really don't think about fighting, but think of the fights. Like we always like fought on concrete sometimes. You see a lot of these World Star videos and how easily our lives could have been ruined in a fight back in the day. Like if you hit somebody and they like busted their head on the concrete.
Or I saw a kid one time, they had these big railroad ties that they used for a like planter thing at the school in Lincoln. And fucking this kid got knocked the fuck out and hit that, and his head fucking hit that. Just imagine if his neck would have been a little further up, he would have completely $1 million babied himself.
Oh yeah, man. I almost did that on Bubba's show too. When we were doing Shock the Cock,
Oh
I
no.
I had the head of my penis tased, and I passed out, and like I felt like maybe half a foot away from my head hitting the stool.
Good lord.
Yeah,
Isn't it
that
that Bubba did so much gay stunts and stuff, had like gay stunts and shit back in the day, but now that it's socially acceptable, he doesn't have any of them.
yeah, I know. That's the mind blowing thing. Vice was actually on Cluster F yesterday,
I'm surprised
and
show.
I
I
don't
thought he was done doing any sort of podcasts or tell-alls or anything like that.
I have no idea. I don't even have no idea. I didn't even listen to it though. I'm sure I got thrown under the bus a little bit, but I might go back and check it out. But that's the other thing is that their Twitch. I'm not gonna sign up for a subscription just to watch it.
Exactly. I can't get behind that. I'm not gonna fucking not only that, like I'll be completely honest, I will not even sign up for it, nor am I gonna go on there and convert my fucking dollars into bits, which sounds retarded to give these fucking people any money. I will not do that at all. I'll
Well,
watch the free stream if it's on and if I happen to catch it, but that's about it. And I don't even have Twitch on anything anymore. I took it off
yeah.
because it's a waste of time.
How's the COVID up there in the great state of Montana?
There's still cases of it. It's not too rampant. Where I work now, they're fucking really crazy about it. So, like, I mean, you have to take a health assessment before you go in there. So I have to like go onto this app and fucking fill out this shit to make sure that I'm not feeling any illness or anything like that. So it's quite fucking easy to take a day off if you need one.
Are
Just
you
like,
gonna get the vaccine?
I don't know. I mean, if it becomes mandatory, yeah, I guess.
I don't
Or
see it. They'll
Canada.
never be able to make it mandatory though.
Yeah, watch it. They're gonna start down there in Florida first.
Yeah, well, I mean, our governor is just the biggest piece of shit you'll ever see.
Well, there hasn't been a very many good governors of Florida.
I
I
gotta
mean,
tell you, Walken, Lawton, Childs. Can't forget about Walken, Lawton, Childs.
I thought you were a big Jeb Bush fan.
Well, no, Lawton Childs actually had one of the best nicknames. They called him the He Coon.
Oh my God.
I don't know why, but I mean, I gotta tell you, that's a pretty badass name, He Coon.
It's better than She-Coon.
Yeah, but you know, also Walken, Lawton, Childs. That's why they called him Walken, Lawton, Childs. Was that he pretty much walked the whole state of Florida, going around from place to place, meeting people. Now, I don't believe it because you got to tell me that this guy walked all over the place. I mean, he was getting rides somewhere.
Oh yeah, somebody was picking him up. The campaign people or something, people that worked for him.
And
For
you got to
sure.
remember, this is before social media, so like a lot of stuff wasn't being documented. So he could have easily like gotten rides.
Oh yeah, he probably didn't even fucking do it. He just hopped in a van. He started out, and then as soon as he ran around a corner where people couldn't see him, he fucking jumped into a van and drove the rest of the way.
Yeah,
Bang, till he
and
was
and
technically be there.
and the most ironic thing, he died of a heart attack on a treadmill.
See, it hits you. Too much running, man. You got to watch out for the exercise. Some exercise is good, but all that running is not good.
Yeah, we one of my other favorite governors was Charlie Crist because
Just say him.
because everybody thought he was gay though for a while. You know that, like that big rumor was all around there about him being homosexual,
Well,
and I thought it would have been great.
he certainly didn't look like he was. That was.
The guy had the deepest, darkest tan you'll ever see in the world.
I know, it was crazy. He was governor when I lived down in Florida.
And what's crazy is when you have like silver gray hair, it makes your tan look even darker.
Yeah, it does. Well, he looked like a typical South Floridian.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, working at that tanning salon that me and my wife had, you can only take cleaning sweat off of the beds, and especially the people that would come in sometimes that maybe didn't take care of themselves.
Oh,
Holy crap, man. It was like bait BO.
I bet. That's horrendous. They stink to begin with, and then what do they think that's going to happen? It's magically going to dissipate?
Yeah, and the other thing was like the Italians when they would come in and they eat heavy on the garlic. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. There must have been some nice looking trim that came in there, though.
Oh no, there was a lot. And I did all the spray tanning for the dudes. You know that, right? Like I spray tanned all the dudes.
Of course you did. You probably signed right up for it.
Well, but get this though. I've told this story before, but you would use dick We had dick because you'd have to stretch out the junk because you would get these like lines on a flaccid penis if you sprayed it. Like when it gets erect, you're just gonna have tan and then it's gonna look like a zebra.
So then you would get done, and there'd be these weird little tan lines around your nose where you were sniffing the dick tongs.
No, no, but you'd have to grab the head and stretch it out a little bit, and then well, sometimes they would. It
Oh,
was very very weird.
I bet so. What happens if somebody goes in there and they're rock hard?
It makes my job easier.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You're like, all right, well, that was in and out.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest like stories? Because I know you don't like to get political and stuff like that, but like give me your top three because it's been a pretty crazy year. What would be your top three stories?
I would probably say, remember Greta Thunberg? Yeah, nobody
Oh
does.
yeah, yeah.
About her now. She's fucking, that was the beginning of the year shit. Then COVID happened. Then Trump election scandal happened. And then I guess we're getting Sleepy Joe, which I like that nickname. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's mean. That guy looks like he could take a nap at any moment, which is not a bad
Yes.
thing. I'm for naps, but when you're a president, I don't know. That's why I've been working on, I think, the biggest move of my life. I'm going to be the first person to move from my parents' house to the White House. I'm going straight up, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. I might
A lot
take a few maybes and a couple handshakes, but that's about it.
a lot of people they forget about Kobe Bryant too, and I got a lot of heat for some of the posts that I made because I was like, yeah, let's all feel bad about a rich, famous athlete that feels like he's too good and entitled to sit in traffic like the rest of the people, and he's got to take a helicopter everywhere. Helicopters are death traps.
Rich motherfucker died because of fog. He could have drove through it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I mean, you flying on a helicopter all the time, ended up taking your daughter with him, and like
Oh.
5 other people.
Well, shit. You know what? What about the 5 other people? Think how fucking I'd be fucking pretty happy if I was like, yeah, I died on a fucking helicopter with Kobe Bryant, motherfucker. Where else are you gonna die? You're just a normal Joe. You're never gonna have the basketball accolades that he had. You're one of the people that Kobe. You're never gonna be remembered. Nobody's gonna care because you're gonna be like, oh my God, Kobe Bryant. Remember when he died and those other people?
Do you
But
think he got away with rape?
oh, in Denver?
Yeah,
No, I don't think he raped that chick. I think exactly like Chappelle said, that bitch was fucking loose. She showed up there with Noah's Ark in her panties when she showed up to court. So and she got around, and not that that's a bad thing. People are allowed to do whatever they're gonna do, but I don't think he raped anybody. Now that chick that Ben Roethlisberger attacked a few years ago, I'm pretty sure something funky went down
Wait.
there.
But he has more than one accusation.
Oh yes,
I thought.
he does.
I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, buddy. I think maybe one I could say, oh, that bitch is lying. But man, the second one, it's like, ooh, man, we might need to go back and look at that other one.
But you know what? You never heard anything else about it again, and he's been, pretty much. You don't hear anything about Ben Roethlisberger unless he's injured.
You know, a story that got hyped up a lot that never really became anything? The murder hornet. Everybody was like all on the murder hornet tip for like a week or two there, and it really never like materialized into anything.
No, there was more articles than there were actual attacks from the murder hornets.
Yeah. All right. It was like, hey, what can we do to get people's minds off of COVID for just a little bit? Yes, murder hornet.
I think Charlotte should change their name to the Murder Hornets.
Oh, Oh, that would be a bad. I mean, it would be.
It's like
because,
a red, and it's even pissed off, more mad looking than the normal Hornet.
yeah, because that Hornet that they have as their logo, it's like, I mean, I'm not intimidated by that at all.
No, the worst is the Pelicans. Come on,
Oh, yeah.
they couldn't come. They couldn't do like the New Orleans, or like the New Orleans levees or something like that. A little levee breaking in the background.
Or the Ninth Ward, because that was the one that everybody said that they accidentally or they purposely blew up one of the levees.
Well, when the levee breaks, apparently Led Zeppelin used to say that.
Well, what about this though? I drove my Chevy to the levee, or what was that? American
Yeah.
Pie. I'm
Yeah.
completely off on that one.
But that levee was dry, so basically he went out to a dry fucking reservoir to do what? Like get fucked up?
Yeah,
He
I
didn't
guess so.
care.
I've always wanted, like you'll see in all these movies and stuff where all the kids they go hang out at like a lake that they had dug
Yeah.
up.
You
Yeah,
know,
and they just throw shit in there.
it's funny that you bring that up. There wasn't one that they throw it in.
Uh-huh.
Little man-made pond in Great Falls that all the kids back in the day used to go and party at and
Mhm.
hang out. And there's like little trees and little alcove and stuff like that. And apparently a couple people got killed out there back in It's Called the Day. Somebody was running, slashing throats.
I'm multitasking right now. I'm getting my dad. Dad, how'd your appointment go? Good? Good. All right. Yeah, say hi to Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. He said, is it cold in Montana right now?
No, it's actually pretty warm today. It's supposed to get down in the 20s again, down and then back down to the teens. So,
Well, cool. Well, let me get my dad in the truck, Charlie, and maybe we might need to continue this another day since we got cut a little short here.
that's fine. We'll get a hold of it and figure the stuff out. But congratulations on coming up on your 300th episode, and we'll talk soon.
Well, thanks, Charlie, man. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.